Hi there, this is Crystal from crystalscraftsandstuff.blogspot.com, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I use my Cricut expression to cut out these flowers with the burlap material. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that will show you how to use your sizzix products to cut these flowers out with this kind of material, but I didn't see any using the expression, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. And here's just some of the flowers, some examples of the flowers I had made. So let's go ahead and get started here. What you're going to start off with is a piece of burlap, and I'm using white burlap. And you want to go ahead and get that cut down to size to fit on your cutting mat. I didn't measure mine. It's not a 12 by 12. It's like maybe 9 inches by 12, something like that. So I'm going to put some color down. As you can see there, I'm using a Starburst spray, and the color is Lucky Shamrock Green. The next color I'm going to be doing on the other half is Tiffany's Blue, and this is going to be in a Starburst color shot. And as you can see here, the color shots are in these little pots. So you gotta use a paintbrush to go ahead and put that down. And these products are from www.lindystampgang.com. If you haven't bought any of their products, you really should. Their products are great. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this layer down of the blue. And then what I'm gonna do is, you're gonna see here, is I'm using my heat gun to dry this up. Now the reason why I'm drying this up is because I'm gonna put another layer on top of this, and I'm gonna use Mod Podge for that. And that's a glue. So I want to make sure this is dry, and then I leave my Mod Podge dry naturally, because when I hit it with a heat gun to dry up my Mod Podge, I seem to always get air bubbles. So I just leave my glue dry naturally, especially this glue. So you're going to see here, you want to put a nice, even, generous layer of this down. You can dab it on there or paint it on there however you want, just as long as you get a nice even layer, as you're going to see coming up here, of the Mod Podge. Now I only use one layer. You're more than welcome to put as many layers on as you want. I just use one on the front. You can put one on the front, one on the back. It's really up to you. Now as you can see here, by what I'm talking about, a generous layer. So you want to go ahead and you want to set this off to the side to leave it dry naturally. Now the reason why we do use Mod Podge, a type glue like this, is because it stiffens up your product, as you can see here. And you want your product to be stiff because, first of all, you can shape your flowers, and the second reason is because it gives you nice, clean, crisp cuts off of your Cricut. And it's the same thing when you use your sizzix dies. You want to use that Mod Podge too, because it won't fray. Now, as you can see here, this is the regular burlap that we started out with, and you can just see how it folds, and you won't be able to shape that. And as you can see here, when you fold, it takes a little while to bounce back. So I say it gives it a little bit of life to it. So that's why we use the glue. Now what I'm going to show you next is my cutting mat. And the only reason I'm showing you these cutting mat is because I refurbish all my Cricut mats. I only have a few of them. And this mat here, and only this mat, do I use one adhesive. So what I want to talk about real quick here, what I use is the Crafter's Companion Stick Away Adhesive Cleaning Agent, and this will get rid of all of your old adhesive. So you spray this on there first, and you scrape it off, and it cleans it perfectly. I love this stuff. And like I was saying, only on this mat do I use this product. This is an Easy Tack Repositional Adhesive 720 Crayon product. And I get this from Michael's back in the spray paint section. And this has a very, very, very strong hold. I do not use this mat when I'm cutting paper. When I refurbish my other mats that I use my paper on, I use this product. I use this Crafter's Companion Stick and Spray. It's a temporary repositional adhesive. I use that one on my paper mats. And on this mat, as you can see here, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty getting the cover off because that 720 adhesive is very, very strong. So this is the only mat I use it on. And with this mat, I always use my heavier material, my chipboard, any other kind of fabric. I always use this mat. So as you just see me putting it down, putting the burlap down on my mat. And then what I'm going to use next is a brayer. And the only reason I use that is just to get any air bubbles out. Again, just to make sure it's smooth and it cuts nicely. You don't have to use a brayer. That's up to you. Like I said, I just use it to get all my air pockets out of there. And also, only on this mat do I use masking tape. And I use the masking tape just to reinforce it, to make sure it doesn't move and it cuts out nicely. You can pick masking tape up at the dollar store for $1. So once I go ahead and get this all 4 sides taped down. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to cut this out with the Cricut. Now, as you're going to see here coming up, I'm using my Mother's Day Bouquet Cricut cartridge. And I really like this cartridge. It's great, especially for flowers, but any Cricut cartridge you have for flowers would work. So you can see here, my blade is set at 6. My speed is set at low, as you can see right here. My pressure is at max. And the next screen you're going to see again is just the settings, speed and the pressure right there. Now I also use multi-cut. When you have your multi-cut button on, it's green, but for picture purposes I didn't have it on. But I have my multi-cut set to 4. And if you don't know how to set your multi-cut, I'm going to show you how to here. You want to go ahead and hit your settings button. Now when you hit that settings button, it's going to bring you up to a language screen. Now when you're on that language screen, you want to press the OK button, where you can see where my thumbnail is right there. Press that and it will take you to your unit screen. Then you want to press your OK button again, and that will take you to the multi-cut screen, as you can see here. Now as you can see, my multi-cut is set on 4, and to get to that you can use your plus or minus button. And then once you have it set to the 4, you hit your settings button again, and then you're ready to cut. So here's a picture of just the Cricut cutting the burlap. So again, I'll go over my settings real quickly here. The blade is at 6, speed is at low, pressure is at max, and multi-cut is 4. So now the Cricut's done cutting, we're going to go ahead and remove that masking tape. And you can see right here I'm playing around with these little flowers I cut out because I didn't want to waste any of my material. And because I used a very strong hold, the flowers will stick to the mat. If you're having problems pulling up your burlap and your flowers are not popping out, what you want to do is just push on the flower and pull on the burlap. And you can be rough with this stuff, guys. It's burlap, like I said, we treated it already, so you can be really rough with it. It's not going to rip, it's not going to tear. It's not paper, guys. As you can see here, I had 2 flowers that were stuck in there, and you can see how rough I am with this, and it doesn't tear or rip your flowers. So let me go ahead and get these 2 out, and then I'm just going to show you, pull off the ones off the mat, and as you can see how nicely they had cut out. There I am playing with those little ones again. I cut this out at 3/4 of an inch, and they were the intricate ones, and they didn't turn out at all. But as you can see, I mean, these cut out really nice. You can see the flowers. It's very, very simple. So that's it for this video. If you want, you can tune into my next video, and that's just going to show you how I color these with acrylic paints, and how I put the flowers together. I also wanted to say that if you're going to do a lot of these flowers, you want to get a bigger bottle of Mod Podge. And also this stuff will work too here. This is a Collage Podge. I got that at Joann's. It's right next to the Mod Podge. And that stuff works as well. And again, I'm just showing you the Easy Tack repositional 720 adhesive I use on that Cricut mat. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this. And you can see how easy these are cut out. Tune in for the second video for how I put this together and make these flowers. And again, I want to thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.